Good evening. This week we are going to be making a classic, a old-fashioned. Before we get started, I want to talk about a couple of things real quick. First, fruits. It's very important. If you pretend to be any kind of bartender, you should always have your three main fruits in your house at all times: a lemon, that's the lemon, the lime, and an orange. Today we're going to be using the orange. Also, when you're working with fruit, it's always important to kind of know how to cut fruit. There are two ways to cut it. You can cut it longitudinally or latitudinally. Did I have that right?
Don't ask me.
I don't know. One of those ways. I was trying to be all fancy here, but I didn't quite do it right. It'd be latitudinally, longitudinally. There we go. Got it. All right. So it depends on if you want the rind or you don't want the rind in there. So typically, if you're making something, you want to make a wedge. Wedges are really great for limes, where you're going to be putting it into a beer or squeeze it into a drink. Anything you want to squeeze, you'd want to do a wedge. And when you're doing a wedge, you want to do it from the top to the bottom, vice versa here. But if you want to slice, which is what we want here with an orange, we're going to go in between the two hemispheres of the orange. I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. So that way you have it nice, and you have the star kiss or whatever pattern on here, which is sort of what you want. And then what we want is a slice here, so we're just going to take a nice little thin slice on this. So you have your slice of orange. I'm going to put that in our rock glass here. So we're going to be using a rock glass to make this drink. So I have the orange in there. The other thing you want to do is you got to have some bitters. I like orange bitters. For an old fashioned, you can use just straight up bitters, which is fine. Just need to have a few dashes in there. And the other recommendation is to use a sugar cube. I don't typically have sugar cubes around, but I do have simple syrup. If you don't have simple syrup or sugar cube, you can mix a sugary, pretty much a simple syrup mixture of 1-to-1 of sugar to water. And here's where you can kind of adjust the how sweet the drink is. I don't like to make my drinks too sweet, so I just put like a little dash in there. If you like it sweet, you can put more in there. The other big ingredient is a cherry. You want to use, you can use maraschino cherries. I don't like those. I like the Luxardo's cherries. You can find these at any nice grocery store. You can order them online, which is typically what I do. These are really nice cherries, and they go great in old fashions. As you can see, we're almost out here. I like to grab one, throw it in there. This has some really great syrup on there. We're getting to the bottom here, so it's kind of a little sticky. And then what you do at this point is you're going to take these and you're going to give them a little mash with a muddler. Just get it in there. Okay. So after that, then we want to put the whiskey in. Whiskey is the key ingredient. I almost forgot my shot glass. I have my small bottle of Crown Royal. Typically you use Crown for this drink. You can use any whiskey that you prefer. This is just the one I typically like to make on here. Another thing you do with this drink, if you want to kind of get it fancier, or again, this is sort of a grown-up drink, and whiskey is not necessarily the most approachable. You can use flavored whiskeys on this too. I've done that before. I don't have any around right now, unfortunately, but like a vanilla flavored whiskey is really good with this. And I wouldn't necessarily do the whole thing. Mostly if you're doing the sugar in here, it's a sweet drink as it is. I would do like one shot of straight whiskey and then one shot of the flavored whiskey in there, kind of if you want to sweeten it up a little bit. This one is a grown-up drink, so we're going to go ahead and do 2 shots. Crown in here. Then we're going to get some ice. And then the last step is you give a little stir. And then you have yourself an old fashioned. Have a good night.